Well, hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Colin here. Saturday afternoon, 3:53. Just relaxing here. And I thought I'd pour myself a bourbon. And today I've got HOGS 3 here. Have a look at that. It's been sitting on my bar for quite a while. As you can see, it's worked its way down. And I don't think I've had a sip of this for at least several months, but I do remember enjoying it. And I poured it, and I took a smell of it. I thought, oh, does that ever smell great? And I thought, you know what? Before I taste it, I should let you folks join me with that. So anyways, HOGS 3. It's give you a little more info. It's 40%. Alcohol, and let's see what else it says here. It has a little bit of information on the bottle here. So it's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This mature Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey has been aged for over 3 full years in newly crafted and charred American white oak barrels, from which it takes its depth of color and smooth, dry taste. It says here this exceptionally rich and mellow flavored dark bourbon. Actually, they just sort of repeat that again. Oh, no, actually, a little more information here. It takes its unusually distinctive complexity of taste from the finest rye that is used together with a final maturation in flamed oak barrels. Genuine old-style recipe, it says. Authentic Kentucky straight bourbon takes its classic texture and sweet taste from the freshwater springs that have filtered through the limestone shelf that runs through the southern states of America. The deep, rich color comes from the charred oak barrels in which it is aged. This process was initially introduced in the 1800s as a means of disinfecting the barrels to ensure no contamination of this spirit occurred. Interesting. Okay, excellent. So, this is interesting. It says, produced in the U.S., bottled in Scotland, and re-imported into the U.S. That's interesting. Anyways, this is, so folks, you can look at that bottle there. It's something I do remember enjoying, and if you guys got a bourbon or something similar that you're drinking, I hope you have something you're tasting as well. Let's see what this thing smells like first. Yeah, so when I poured this just a few minutes ago and took a smell of it, I was getting a lot of like really nice notes, cigar, leather, oak, molasses. Just a beautiful combination of all those things. Cheers, folks. Let's see what it tastes like. Folks, on the palate here, I'm almost getting like a cranberry tart, kind of a general tartness, bit of, kind of almost cranberry notes, blackberry. Very interesting. And yeah, there's definitely some of that molasses. Interesting. Let me have another sip here and see how it starts to settle in. I'm starting to get maybe a little bit of a light, sugary honey glaze. But yeah, that tart kind of cranberry, blackberry is really hanging around there. Sort of interesting. Mm. A little bit of a pepperiness there. You know, for 40%, it's got a little bit of a pop to it. In terms of, you know, just in terms of some heat, some pepper. Trying to describe some other flavors I'm getting here. You know, a nice, decent finish. It kind of runs down for a while. Still kind of warming my throat as we speak. Kind of a nice, but yeah, you know what? It really still has that. It surprises me because in the nose, I'm not getting into that tart, cherry, blackberry, cranberry kind of thing going on, but not really at all. It was all those first notes I was saying on the nose, but yeah, on the palate, it's very somewhat different, I gotta say. A lot of bourbons will have sort of a, you know, I sometimes categorize them in two different directions sometimes, or notice a couple different things about bourbons. And a lot of times one big category might be, for me, would be a little bit of a brown sugar cinnamon bun sweet. And others will have a bit of maybe a light honey / white sugar sweetness to them. So sometimes, you know, I kind of put those in two categories sometimes, just in my own experience. This is you know, that tartness again is a little bit different here. It's really kind of throwing things in a bit of a different direction for me. I mean, on the nose, that's kind of a classic bourbon, you know, molasses, oak, kind of a bit of a cigar thing going, leather. You know, you get that in a lot of bourbons. But yeah, I don't get this in a lot of bourbons. Maybe it's a bit of the rye that's going on in here. They mentioned the rye. I have tasted something kind of like this, I think, in lot 40 before. A little bit of this tartness, particularly one of the lot 40 ones. I'm trying to remember, it was aged in a certain type of barrel, and it's escaping me in my brain right now. But this reminds me of that, and I really like that. So I do like this. But it kind of surprised me. I don't really recall this sort of tasting note when I had this, you know, several months ago. But this is, I believe this was reasonably priced. I think, if I recall, $50 or $60 kind of thing, if that. You know, it's only 40%, but I really recall enjoying it. As you can see, I had quite a bit of it. And just nice. I don't really recall this type of tardiness though. You know, again, I smell it, and it's got real cigar on the nose. Yeah, I guess, you know, best way to kind of describe the palate here is maybe a blueberry or cranberry jam with a whole bunch of maybe white sweet sugar sprinkled on top with some honey layered on top of that. You know, and there's still a little bit of oakiness, woodiness in there, a little bit of a leathery thing going on as well. All that mixed together, so, you know, really quite nice, and kind of a nice, you know, for 40%, it's got some good good pop to it. It's got a half decent texture and finish, like it's not thin, so it kind of hangs around the mouth. It kind of follows up with a nice, decent long finish. Definitely a good smelling sipper, you know. Smell it, sip it. The combination is quite nice. Anyways, folks, I would recommend this, and I, you know, I can't remember the price, but I think it was quite reasonable. This is kind of a fun one, you know. I find that with a lot of bourbons, you know, the prices are usually pretty good, and there's a lot of good quality stuff out there that in that mid range that's sort of just fun to sip on, and this has got enough uniqueness to it that it's worth trying. So anyways, folks, hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and try one of these yourself, or have any sort of a dram this weekend, and we'll see you again soon, everybody.